I want to explain what Docker is. In fact, the next several videos I'm going to create, they're going to be about Docker. So make sure you give me a follow so you can learn. So Docker is a tool that is really, really popular in the tech industry, in the software engineering industry. You cannot really do anything without knowing Docker these days. Docker is a way for us to run applications. When you build an application, you Dockerize it so people can run it with Docker. Or when you want to run some kind of application, that's typically the case, you want to run with Docker. It makes things a lot easier. You want to run a MySQL database, you want to use Docker. You want to run N8N, which is an AI automation tool, you want to run using Docker. You want to run a WordPress site, you want to use Docker. You want to run some application, you use Docker. So what exactly is Docker? The way Docker makes our life a lot easier, it just makes things so much easier, is it's a way to package things together in one piece, in one entity, and then you can just share that, and anybody that has Docker installed, they can run that application without having to worry about dependencies. So here is just an example of an application. You have to understand how applications work to appreciate what Docker does for us. So here, for example, I have an application called application A, right? Application A has a bunch of requirements. The way applications work, it's like a recipe. When you want a recipe for a dish, right? You want to build a dish or you want to cook a dish, there are a bunch of things that go into it. So when you run an application, it's the same thing. There's a bunch of things that go into it, starting from an operating system. So an application needs an operating system. Let's say this application A needs Ubuntu, it needs Java 11, it needs Tomcat, it needs this, and needs that. Then you have another application, it's a totally different application. This one needs CentOS and needs Python, specific version, like the Python 2, needs Nginx, it needs Django and things like that. And you have another application, application C, that needs, again, it needs CentOS, but it needs Python 3. It's a whole different application. It needs different things, right? This is just an example of what that application needs to be able to run, including resources, the memory size, the CPU size, right? So different applications need different things. And usually what happens is you build your application, you deploy it to a server. You have to make sure that server has everything you need on it so your application can run. So sometimes everything works fine on your laptop and you deploy it to a server. The server has a different version. Your application needs Python 3.11, the server has Python 3.7 on it, right? Typically, you won't think there's a big difference, but your application just totally fails. Then what you're going to do is with Docker, you're going to take everything that your application needs and you're going to create a Docker image. You're going to package it into an image. Take everything and put it into one image, and that is called a Docker image. Now you have an image that has everything that your application needs, including the OS. If you need Ubuntu, if you need CentOS, whatever you need, that image has it inside of there. So that image has everything you possibly need to run that application. Then all you need is a Docker installed machine. So you take that image and you basically run it in Docker, and it has everything you need, so the application will run exactly the way you intend it to run. So that's why it makes it super easy to run applications. Even when you just pull a Docker image, an existing application, and you run it, that image has everything that application needs, so it just runs out of the box. So I'm going to create multiple other examples of what Docker is, so make sure you give me a follow.